Hey developers, if you are new to programming and you have never coded in your entire life, then stick to this episode till the end and you will be able to write and run your first Python program. Now let's start by creating a file. To create a file there are different ways. You can click here or you can click on the file option on the top. Now click on a file and now type the name of the file that whatever you want to create. Now here we have the main, which is the name of the file, followed by the extension which refers to Python. Now to create a file, press enter. Now it will ask you to save the file. Select the destination where you want to save the file and click on create file. Now there is another way to create a file. You can click on this icon and create a new file. Now let's start by printing our name. To print the name in Python, write print parenthesis. Now you can use single quote or double quote. Inside this, type the name. Now on the tab you can see a white dot. This is because your file is unsaved. To save the file, click on the file option. Now click on the save. Now you can see the white dot has been disappeared. There is another way to save the file. Press Ctrl plus S to save the file. Now let's run the file. To run the file, click on this play button. Now here we have the name. Now there is another way to run the Python file. Now click on this three dot and hover over the terminal. Now click on this new terminal option and it will open a new terminal for you. Now to run the Python file, type Python followed by the name of the file. Now press enter to run the file. Now here we have the name of the file. Now let's understand what we have written over here. Now in Python, print is a built-in function. Now if you are new, then function is basically something that we used to perform some specific task. Now and in Python, whatever you write inside this quote, Python consider it as a string, and string is a sequence of character. Now let's see how to print numbers in Python. To print number, type print parenthesis, and this time we will not use any single quote or double quote. In Python, to print the numbers, we don't use any quotes. So type any number, save the file and run the file. Press enter. So you can see that we have the name that we have written first. Then we have the number. You can also perform calculations like print phi into phi. Here asterisk means multiplication sign. Now save the file and run the file. Now here we have the name, the number that we have printed, and here is the answer phi into phi, which is 25. Now let's see what happens when you run the file. Now when you run your Python code, the Python interpreter takes the Python code and converts it into a bytecode. But before that, if you don't know what is interpreter, go and check our previous episode in which I have explained what is Python interpreter, how does Python interpreter works, how Python works under the hood. Now let's continue. Python interpreter takes your Python code and converts it into a bytecode. This bytecode is still not understandable by the machine. So Python interpreter further sends this code to the PVM, which is also known as Python virtual machine. This PVM converts your bytecode into a binary code, which is in the form of zeros and one, and it is understandable by the machine. Then this binary code is executed on the machine, which could be your laptop, your mobile, or your tablet. So now let's make the program interesting by taking the input at the runtime. To take the input at the runtime, now let's use a built-in function which is input. For now, let's take name as the input. Now save and run the file. So now here you can see that it is asking for the name. Let's type the name. So nothing will happen because we are just typing the name, but we are not storing it anywhere. So now let's store it in a variable. Don't get confused because we are going to cover it in our upcoming episodes. For now, you can consider it as a storage where you are storing the information that you are taking at the runtime. So now let's print the information that you are taking and storing it in a variable. To print, type print and inside the parenthesis, type name of the variable. Now save and run the file. Now enter the name. So here you can see that we have entered the name and we have printed the name over here. So now let's make it more interesting by printing the name with the greetings. Now to do so, now inside the double quote, type the greetings whatever you want to greet with. So I am typing hello. Outside the quote, write type comma and the name of the variable. Now save and run the program. Now type the name. So here you can see that we have hello and the name that we have entered over here. So this was all for the day.